Sandra Marina.
What's up, folks? It's been almost 2 months since my last vlog entry, and it's been way too long. I've been itching to put something out, but I wanted to give you an update of where I've been and what I've been doing and what's been going on. First thing I want you to know is that I have not stopped shooting. Every day I'm shooting. I'm collecting footage. I got more footage than I know what to do with. I got footage coming out of the yin-yang. I got probably 2 terabytes of footage that I've been sifting through trying to figure out what in the world am I doing. Now, you can remember when I stopped my vlog, I told you in that last episode that what I intended to do was to make documentaries, and that has been in my heart. I really want to make documentaries, I really do. But what I found is that making documentaries is complicated. It's more complicated than I thought. I could either spend 1 to 5 years making a documentary, or I could switch it up a little bit so that I could communicate with you and give you stuff more frequently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do episodes that have a vlog feel and a documentary feel together. I call it a Vlocumentary. And actually, this is episode 1. We're starting it today. Episode 1 of my Vlocumentary series. And this first series is called Happiness. And the premise of this series is that the fundamental definition of happiness is freedom. What I want to explore is this premise that everyone who has achieved any level of happiness in their life has done so by breaking free from some type of false restraint that has prevented them from going in the direction that their hearts desire. But in today's episode, I'm going to interview a man named Nolan McCants. Nolan McCants is a bishop from Chicago. I was just in Chicago last week, had an awesome time. Nolan is a bishop, but he's not your average bishop. No, a bishop who wears a hoodie and a fade and he don't wear no collars, no vestments, no ring. But you don't expect a bishop to be an award-winning photographer, an artist, entrepreneur with his own clothing line. But Nolan is all of those things. And he's a real bishop too. So I hope you enjoy this. I got a lot more stuff planned for you, but I hope you enjoy this first episode of my Vlocumentary on happiness and my interview with Bishop Nolan McCants. Enjoy.
Yeah, you can borrow this natural light, which I prefer. I love shooting with natural light. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Okay. So I think if I can, talk about the whole of who I am.
Absolutely.
And so the first thing is that just the simple discovery that you can be more than one person is very rich. Who says that you have to do one thing? I don't know who came up with that idea, but I'm a proponent of doing all that you are. I think the key thing is keeping the main thing, understanding the priority of it all, and then working with it, based on that understanding. So as a teenager, I got involved in radio broadcasting here at the University of Illinois. And it was just a program for young people, at-risk youth. And I got involved and excelled to the point of within a couple years, I'm working for one of the major radio stations. It's a paid internship, but it's a job. I'm an in-studio producer, like 17 years old, at one of the well-known talk shows, and just having a ball of that. So I'm working a booth or 2 from Chicago's top DJs. These are guys that are getting well paid. I kind of did some math and said, well, am I ever going to be that guy? I said, nah. Okay, I can do this and grow into whatever position, but this is not going to deliver the real paper. So I was doing promotional stuff from a church, picked up graphic design, picked up photography in terms of how it all functions together, and actually took the leap and got involved in public relations, where I just started with like small community organizations, where I said, okay, I'll give you 10 hours of my time, you give me $250 a month. They're creative processes, pulled it off. Got a number of clients like that, worked those, developed that to eventually I'm working with major retailers and hospitals and banks and you name it, just about every industry I actually worked with and built the firm. 15 years I did that. About 8 years ago, we had given our furniture away to family in our living room, dining room, and we were just going to redo everything, redo the floors. So, you know, over the years, I mean, since I was a kid, I would shoot. And I had some images that I had just framed, not even framed out, just matted, and they were like on the floor, along the walls. And I had one of the guys from the church come by one day, you know, and he looked at a photo I took of the Eiffel Tower. He said, man, that's an interesting perspective of the Eiffel. I've never seen that before. He said, that's awesome. Where did you get it? I said, well, I shot it. And he's like, yeah, right. Where'd you buy the photo, you know? So I said, man, I shot the photo. So he said, well, can I buy it? I thought, I'm an entrepreneur. Heck yeah, you can buy it. You can buy anything in here except my wife. Anything. Even the kids, they are available. They're potty trained, they're ready to go. So I had to go and kind of figure out a formula to sell them that piece, which I did. And I had a local framer that I had worked with, so I went to him and he framed it out. So, you know, the guy came back, you know, and kept pressing the point of your eye. And I had hired many photographers in my business. Some of the top photographers in Chicago worked for me, you know, my PR business, whether it's fashion or event stuff. So I knew all these guys, you know. And I never showed anybody my work. I mean, or I wouldn't consider it work. It's just photos I'm taking, you know. And so after a couple times, and by the way, that family now has about 16 of my images in their home. Their whole house looks like my gallery. Wow. Yeah, but I had represented a gallery down here. Still good friends with the owner. The gallery's no longer, but still good friends with the folk who owned it. So I just called. I said, you know what? I got something going on here. Can we just sit down and have some lunch? I want to show you something. And I had just a 8x10 book of about 20 images that I'd taken in different parts of the world. And we sat down and he said, I said, listen, I want you to look at these. People are kind of making some suggestions about my work. I want you to see what I got. So he said, man, you got an eye. So he said, let me, I want to introduce you to somebody. So we get in a cab. We went over to the south side here to Andre Guichard. He's an international artist, has his own gallery. And we walk in, and it's kind of funny. It's like, you know, if you could make a movie of it, this would be one of those hits where you like, wow, did it happen just like that? It happened just like that. We go in, he's got these gym shoes on, there's paint all over the gym shoes. He's working. And he's talking while he's working, and he's looking at me, and he's doing his thing. And he said, yeah, brother, you got it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he said, you got the gift. You need to submit to Black Creativity, which is the longest running, largest exhibit of African American art in America at the Museum of Science and Industry. He said, you need to submit. So here I am. What I do is whenever I'm introduced to somebody who could pour into my life, who has something to say, doesn't matter what level, whether it's ministry or professional or personal, I take notes, and if they're making suggestions to me, I try to commit to following through on everything they tell me. So I check it off. So he says, you need to submit. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why do I need to submit to this? You know, I mean, this is not going to go anywhere. But I remember it had a deadline. It was all online. Had a deadline of like midnight one Wednesday. I'm going to Africa that Thursday. I'm in the bed, tired, trying to get to sleep so I can catch this flight. And I said, the man told me to submit. So I submitted. And went to Africa, came home, there's a letter. And the letter said, congratulations, Mr. McCants, you've been accepted as an artist. And so you get a chance to submit up to 4 pieces. Typically, like this year, they may take 1 if you get in at all. 470 artists had submitted that year. Only 70 were selected, and I was one of the 70 selected that year. Wow. They selected all 4 of my pieces. All 4 in the show. I traveled again. I came home. I remember, of course, telling my wife and kids, my daughter, they were so excited, you know. I came back, and another letter, actually, no, a phone call. And the lady introduced herself. She said, I'm calling from the Museum of Science and Industry, Chicago. We want to make sure you're going to be in town on this date because you are a winner in our show. I won that first time out, best of photography for the entire show. Wow. Just a mind blower, you know. And most of this happened in my 20s. Right. I started so young. Right. And so that too has proven to be very, very beneficial in that most people get where I was in their 30s. By the time I was at 30, I had finished the PR business and started a church, you know, and so I'm 54, I'll be 55 this year. And I mean, I'm still creating. It's been an inspiration to my children too. I'm watching the way they're approaching life and how they're processing life in this fuller, richer ways. They're not thinking, I get a job and I do that job for 25, 30 years and then, you know, they're looking at all the different things they can do. I've watched them try some things and not be successful, but they tried it. They explored it. And that in and of itself is very, very rich and filled with life. You know. Blows my mind that people are willing to spend the kind of money that they will spend on something that I shot and something that I enjoy so much, you know. It definitely speaks. And more and more I'm learning how loudly it speaks. There are no boundaries, except the ones you set. And there is a combination of intentional and deliberate. Then there's the spontaneity, and you get those working together, and it's just powerful. I can't tell you how many times I've shot an image where I'm focused on a particular aspect of it, only to find later that there are layers of other things that were captured that, you know, create the piece. One of the things that I do, it's like part of my signature, I never Photoshop anything. Everything, nothing's Photoshopped, nothing's cropped. So what you see is exactly what I saw through the camera lens. Something I did. When I turned 40 years old, I went in my closet and I removed every polo shirt. And I refused to wear one since that time. I saw people my age begin to age psychologically just by what they wore. So live, but think. Continue to be a thinker. Nobody's too small or too big. People are people. You can learn something from everybody, and people are tied together all over the planet. So you burn no bridges, you preserve relationships, and in developing them, don't be selfish.